Amazing. Kerry, welcome to Spark TV. I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm very excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh my God, of course. Let's start out by telling everyone who you are and what you do.
So, I am the owner of the Admin Superheroes, and we are a business management outsourced company. So, we come in and help entrepreneurs or co founders or owners who actually are stuck in the day to day. So, it's about getting them out of that so that they can focus on scaling and growing their business so that they're not putting out fires every day.
I love this because literally before we hit record, I was whinging to you about how I was already behind for the year on my admin.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. So
Yes.
when you say admin, I feel like that's pretty broad brush. Like what could somebody come to you for?
Yeah, so one of our specialties is actually team management. So quite often, you know, an entrepreneur or owner will scale a little bit and get someone to come in and just do the work part, and then all
Mm.
of a sudden they're all they're doing is managing the team, right? Because every person that you put on requires your time. So that's one of the key things that we do. We become the gatekeeper. So we stop them from coming to you directly. They come to us so that you can actually have some time to think, which is so uncommon these days for a founder.
Yes,
Um,
thinking scares me these days.
I know, right? But if you don't have that space to think, you can't dream and you can't envision what's coming forward and what you need to do, right? So that's one of the really important things that we do. It's also managing the team and the projects that they have going and making sure that they get complete. We offer strategy around different areas of the business. Operations is our specialty. So anything in the operations space, we're all ex-corporate operations managers. So
Ooh.
we certainly know what we're doing and we know how to streamline processes, make them more efficient and automate wherever we can.
Yeah, that is so incredible. It's such a common, I guess, plight of the business owner to be, I guess, start the business because they're amazing at a thing. Whether it's, they're a graphic designer, they've got a software idea, they're a marketing person, whatever it is, they kind of start their business because they're really good at something. And then as they scale, they kind of get less and less, I guess, touch time on what it is they actually love doing. And you're so right when you hire someone in and then all of a sudden you're now a manager. You've decided to start XYZ and now you're an ops person. I feel like having somebody on your team that is more operations focused can be such a good way to lift that burden off a business owner.
Absolutely. So, we talk about swooping in and saving the day. That's our kind of little superhero ploy there, but and that's really what we do. We come in like a corporate firefighter, which is what we all used to do when we were in corporate. And we put out the daily fires because they're there every day. And if we find
Yeah.
one, we put it out and make it better. We fix it so it doesn't happen again. So we're one of your biggest problem solvers, and quite often when a problem does arise, if we can't solve it, often we can, but if we can't solve it, we won't bring a problem to you without solutions. So
I
all
love
you have
that.
to do then is just pick. We
That
take
is
the really
so
hard work
good.
out of it.
Oh my God, I love that. It's so easy to just I was thinking about that. I've actually had to schedule in days this year that are the doing days, like the big project days. I'm like, you can just spend the entire day ticking off these tiny, minuscule little activities, and you get to the end of the day and you've been so busy and you're so exhausted, and you've done nothing to grow the business. Like you've just kept the lights on, and it can be really like if you're a go-getter, if you're oh my gosh, I'm building an empire, I've got amazing plans and visions for this year, it can be super demoralizing getting to the end of the day and going, what did I even do?
Yep. I made no progress in growing the business today. And quite
Yeah.
often no one schedules that time in either. So
Yeah.
that's the idea of what we do. We come in and we take all of that off your plate so that you have your time back to do that.
Mm. I know. And it's so important. Is someone was saying to me they do it once a month. And I was like, wow. So that means 12 times a year you are focused on your business. And I was like, I thought I was bad because I blocked out my Fridays. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I thought I was bad doing it once a week. But it's like you're doing it once a month. Like that is outrageous. So I love the idea of you coming in and actually giving the business owner that space and that freedom to actually elevate, ooh, which is my word for the year, and grow the business. I think this is so exciting.
Oh, it's an amazing opportunity, and the things that we've seen happen in businesses once they've brought us on board. And quite often the owner gets really scared when they bring us on board.
Mm.
They don't want to let go of everything, right? It's their baby and they don't want to let go.
Yes,
And
we're all control freaks.
yeah,
Yes.
that's right. That's why we go into business, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to listen to anybody else. So we go into business. But the problem with that is that they think that they need a full timer and that they don't have access to that experience.
Mm.
So we come in as a fractional role. So it could be 10 hours, 15 hours a week, 20 if you need it. We'll stay with you until you are ready to hire full time, and we will help you hire that person full time, because to
Wow.
us, that's what success looks like.
That is so awesome. I love this new fractional thing that's going on. There's fractional everything now, like ops people, finance people, marketing people. It's just so empowering for women in business who, you're so right. I think in the olden days when I was starting a business, you had to hire full time, or you thought you had to hire full time because the other option was like Upwork, kind of freelancer vibe. So you really did. And then it was so scary signing somebody's contract for all of that money and going, do I have enough work? Are they the right person? Like all of these fears going through your mind. I absolutely love that we live in this world now where it's like, what do you need? What's the project? What's the problem? This is the hourly commitment, done.
Yep. It's so much easier. And,
Mm,
you know, some people don't even want to use employees, right?
yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
Say that. But the contractor model is just as effective, right?
Oh, so good. Yeah.
Something else, a lot of the contractors are even more invested because they're
Yeah.
running their own business, and your success, bridges their success. So
Yes.
without you, they can't be successful either. So it's kind of like you go in as a little bit of a partner to make.
I I think it's going to be like the big thing. We moved into this kind of gig economy where there are so many people starting freelance jobs, contractor jobs, their own businesses in whatever area. Um, it's now empowering us to hire people into our team on a sort of short-term or part-time basis. I feel like that's the way the world is moving. Like, it's us old people that complain about like young employees and how not committed, and how my biggest gripe was had how I had to teach them that they had to turn up at 9 a.m. I was like, are you kidding me? But anyway, so I feel like, all the gripes we had, we can solve under this new gig economy kind of fractional world that we live in. And I think it's so empowering for women in business who want to scale and just need that bridge. They're not quite ready for a full timer. They just need that bridge and a little bit of support to kind of boost them to the next level.
Absolutely. And when you're looking at a role that only takes 10 hours a week, that's really hard to employ,
Yeah.
right? Because most people as an employee want minimum 15 to 21 hours.
Mm.
So it's very, very hard. And if you've ever recruited, because I've recruited in my previous roles for part time roles, and it's so hard, the amount of applications that you get for part time roles is insane. Like you get
Yeah.
300 to 500 applications you'd have to sift through, which is just daunting on its own, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. How do you find that needle in a haystack?
That's right. And
Wow.
I'm not a recruiter, but I've done enough of it now that most of the time that filtering out at the beginning is all gut feel.
Mm. Gut feel, or could they follow instructions? That's my biggest thing. I
Yes.
always do a little apply like this or answer this question. Like if you cannot follow basic instructions, then
Yep.
you're out. You
If I ask,
self-selected
yep.
out.
If I ask for a cover letter and I don't get one,
Yeah,
not a good
exactly.
look.
Exactly. Or if I get the copy and paste chat GPT and you've forgotten to update my name and my company name, then you're out. Oh my God, that's hilarious. So you mentioned that, you and the team are ex-corporate ops people, superheroes. What
Yes.
is your background? How did you even get into this?
Oh, so mine is a very varied background.
I love it
So
already.
it's very curly. So I actually, when I left school, I didn't do uni or anything like that. I actually was a tradie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I started as a mechanic and I worked my way up through the automotive industry into the
Wow.
office and then decided I really hated that industry. It's not very women friendly.
I can
Um,
imagine.
no, no surprise, right? Switched industries to plumbing, and that particular company, I had an amazing manager,
Oh,
and
cool.
he could see my problem solving skills were exceptional. So he would throw me in a role that was broken, because I don't want to swear, and so he'd throw me in a role that was broken. I'd fix it. They'd recruit, and he just did that for about 10 years.
Wow,
So I
that's
got amazing
cool.
experience throughout an entire business and worked my way up to operations management. So yeah,
That's
nothing
incredible.
yeah, nothing better than hands-on experience, I say.
Oh, totally. I think that like running a business gets glorified, and it's almost like we don't want to talk about our corporate careers beforehand. Or like it's like corporate's so boring, like 9 to 5. But I'm like, that's the stuff, like it's where you kind of cut your teeth and get all of your soft skills or hard skills, and then, transfer it over to the business. So I just think it's funny. I think people think you finish school, have a brilliant business idea, build an empire, make $1 billion. And I'm like, no, no one's story is ever like that. It's always like twisty, turny, like I did this and I hated it. I tried this, I tried that, I did that. And then I was like, okay, now I'm ready. I can see a gap in the market.
Yeah.
What made you actually take the leap into business ownership?
So my previous corporate role, I was actually made redundant. So I was a part-time employee as an
Hmm.
ops manager, and in that particular role, I covered off 6 different areas of the business. So I
Wow.
covered 6 different areas: sales, marketing, finance, operations and business improvement, and team management, mental health,
Wow.
first aid, the whole lot, HR, everything I covered in that business in 20 hours a week.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, I know.
You
Everyone's
really are a superhero.
I am. I am very much so.
Oh
But
my
the
God.
because I'm so efficient and I'm ADHD, so it makes me super productive. And I find that it's quite fascinating because they made me redundant so that they could hire full-time people in each one of those roles.
Wow.
So
What a cost.
I know. I know,
That's
right?
wild.
Insane. And I thought, you know what? I'm done working for bosses.
Yeah,
I'm over
nice.
the amount we never see eye to eye. I'm that annoying person that asks too many questions because in my brain I have to understand it to make it better.
Mhm.
And I need to understand how it all fits so that I'm not breaking something along the way. So
Mm.
I just thought, bugger it, I can do this better. So I went out on my own.
Wow, I love that so much. And what was it like? So, going from employee to business owner, I mean, being an ops person, I'm kind of guessing you were ready for a lot of it. But
Yes.
was there anything that you got into business ownership and you were like, oh crap, this is new?
Oh, so interesting story. Um, it's the shitty clients.
Oh, I know. No one tells you about that.
No, right? That
Or
is
the
not in the
ones who
fine
don't
print
pay
at
their
all.
bills. The ones who don't pay their bills. No one tells you that people don't pay their bills. What the hell?
I haven't had the no bill problem, but I've had ones that, like, I worked for two actually, or 2 or 3
Hmm.
that were really shitty. One was all about supporting women and wouldn't pay them what they should.
Oh, no.
And
I
I'm like,
hate that so
oh,
much.
and that's like a really big pet peeve of mine because I'm
Yeah, like you
supporting
say
them.
the words and then don't walk the
Yeah,
talk.
right.
Yeah.
And then I had one that was like a coach, and what she projected was certainly not what was happening behind the scenes.
Wow.
She even told everyone that I was doing some terrible things after we parted ways, and she was in
Oh,
contract, so I parted ways.
wow.
But that's obviously not the story that she tells because it doesn't work for her coaching business. So,
Of course. Yeah.
all these different types of ones. I had one male one who, you know, ripped into me un, you know, not as he should, right? There
Mm,
was no reason for it. And I'm just like, no, this is exactly why I went out on my own. I'm not putting up with that shit.
yep.
If I was an employee, maybe different story, but you know, I'm not. So I just walked away. So,
Yeah.
and it's so empowering to be able to make those choices.
It is, isn't it? It's scary. Like, I mean, I think sometimes we go into business and we're like, we've got to say yes to every client that comes our way. Then we get burnt by clients. Then we realize it's our business. We're allowed to make the decisions. And that even though it's scary, if we don't have the crap clients, maybe the good clients will come. And then we finally get to that stage where we have our little beautiful crew of amazing clients.
Yes. Yeah. So I do have a great crew of clients now, and the team that we have is really good, and they're in supportive environments. And I won't put up with clients treating my team badly either.
I
So
love that.
yeah, I'm the protector of the team, and that's my job. So that's how I roll.
I love that. Do you have any tips for firing bad clients?
um, Firstly, I would start to make sure that your terms and conditions in your contract are
Mm.
and you put all your boundaries in there.
Yeah. Oh my God, that is such great advice.
Yeah. And then if they breach it, the first point is to have that conversation, that difficult conversation, and go, this was an overstep. And then decide whether you want to continue. If it was a genuine mistake, you might go, that's okay. Now we all know where we stand. Let's keep going. But if it's not and they continue to breach that boundary, then yeah, you just have the conversation and go, sorry, you're in breach of contract. We're terminating.
Yeah. I I'm a wimp when it comes to firing clients. And so I usually find a way to make up an excuse other than my boundaries. But I just think it's so important. And I do love that you said contracts. That was actually a super hard lesson. So, 12 years ago when I started my other business, not Spark, I don't know why, but contracting people and sending invoices, it kind of felt weird. Like it felt wrong. And I was like, it took me a little while to learn that it's like, especially when you're working with bigger customers, they expect that. That is like the benchmark of professionalism, to have a solid contract, to invoice on time. Like, they are used to that process because, especially if it's a bigger corporate, they have a legal team, an accounting team. They're like, oh yeah, just send it to accounts payable, blah, 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 or whatever. Um, and they expect that. So you have to very quickly get over any kind of, oh my God, I haven't done this before. And I don't want to be demanding by giving them a contract. It's like, no, you need that to protect both sides.
Right? What if they ask me questions or say, oh no, I can't pay it? They're all the fears that pop up when you send those things for the first time, and
Yeah.
that whole imposter syndrome just sneaks its ugly head out and go, oh yeah, yeah, you thought I was gone. No, I'm still here.
I know, 12 years later, and it still is in my brain some days. I'm like, what? I thought we were done. I
I
thought I
have
broke up with
moments all
you.
the time.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole part of the journey, right? I mean, you can't get rid of those moments. There's always going to be those moments. And even my clients have those moments, and they ring us and they go, oh my God, I'm having a moment. I want to fire everyone today. Okay, just calm the hell down and let's just talk this through, right? You know, let's just see where this is actually coming from.
That is hilarious. So you're also equal parts therapist to us.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my God. It's so funny though. I love that idea. I mean, I'm joking saying therapist, but it's like, sometimes we can't talk directly to our team about some of the issues that are going on inside the business. Especially if they're financial. Like, there was this whole thing that came out. So my other business was a tech startup, and tech startups went through this stage of like being transparent, like all of your employees had equity, like it was this whole weird time in the world. And it's like, but not everyone can deal with that. Like, people don't want to know when times are tough. Like, employees want to be employed and they want to have a guaranteed solid
I want
paycheck.
security.
Yeah, they want security. Exactly. And it's so, it's just this weird time. And so what have learned is that there are just conversations you can't have with everybody, and by having someone like you that gets it, gets the level of business they're operating at, it really, oh my God, it's just such a weight off your shoulder, right? When you can have those higher level conversations.
That's right. And that's part of our role is to,
Mm,
as you say, manage up and down, right?
yeah.
But it's we're the ones that are across all those things. So, when you have those freakouts, you come to us because we don't have those conversations with the team.
Yeah.
It's then up to us as a team to go, okay, we're in this position. What can we look at to turn this around?
Mm,
This is what we do all the time.
I
So
love that.
we look at that strategy, we'll look at your finances, right? You've still got subscriptions from 10 years ago that you're not even opening that software anymore. How about we get rid of that to start with,
Yeah.
Like it's just those little bits and pieces. You don't have any financial reporting. Well, that's a bit silly. How are you going to manage your money, right?
Did you forget you were a business?
Right? The amount of clients that I go, how much profit are you making? Oh, I don't know. I just, spend whatever's left in the bank account at the end of the month.
Oh my God.
And this is why you don't have the right cash flow, right?
Mhm.
These are the things that you have to consider. And they don't teach you that, right?
There's not like there's a course. I
Yeah,
mean, that's funny. There probably is a course,
yeah.
but
I'm
it's like
sure there's hundreds of them.
yeah, totally. If only we Googled it. But most of us don't take that course. We just get into business and we go, what's the first problem in front of us? And that is, I'm going to create my offer. What's the next problem? Oh, I need to get someone to pay for it. What's the next thing? I need to deliver it. Like it's so far before we go, oh crap, I've been working in this thing that I said was going to be a business for how long? And now I've got this tax bill. What the hell do I do now? Or now I feel like I'm working for nothing. Like it's all these things. Is like at the start, you don't kind of set it up and think about it holistically. Maybe in your third or fourth business you do,
Yep.
but I think when you get started first up, you kind of just go, what is the next problem in front of me? Like you don't think about things holistically.
Well, I can let you know that I definitely didn't set it up that way, clearly.
Yeah.
I had mapped out all of those things and what allocation needed to go to what account so that I don't get a tax bill and don't have any money. So,
Yeah.
but that's just because I had that experience.
Yeah. And it's funny, like you would have those experiences that like, so the vast majority of us business owners are not ops people. Like how good, like having someone come into your business that has those optics
Yeah.
of what things should actually operate like.
Yes, it makes a massive difference. And the amount of efficiency that you can get out of a business when you bring someone in that's an expert in operations
Mm.
is just exceptional.
What are some of the big like things you see people doing wrong in their businesses?
So obviously the finance
Mm.
is a big issue. There's, you're not actually tracking, you're not looking at what you're paying for, and you're not checking what your profit is because it's great to price an offer. But if you actually, by the time you take out all your tax, your super, and everything else out of it, if you're not making any money or you're making less than what you would in a job, then you're no better
Mm.
off, right?
Yeah.
So that finance is definitely one. Processes are another. So most businesses that we walk into have none, or they're all stuck in the owner's head, which is why
Mm.
they field 50 questions a day because their team don't have it written down either because they know that they can just message the owner and the owner goes, oh, yeah, just do this, right? That all takes time and energy to distribute that information. So processes are crucial. And once you have it written down in a process, you can find the efficiency. But you can't do it until you've got it written down. And they need to be idiot proof. And it's
Yes.
not that you're hiring idiots, it's just that you can't assume that people have the knowledge of the system that is in the process. So I always prefer to make it idiot proof, the videos, pictures, circles around the button you've got to press, everything. Make it as simple and easy as possible to follow.
I love that. It's so true. And it's hilarious. It's all the non-sexy stuff.
Yeah.
Finance and processes. Oh,
Finance, process, and team management.
yeah.
So big. The,
Mm,
the fielding of inquiries from the team, making sure that they're engaged and that they feel like they have someone they can talk to if they need to. It's so crucial because often the owner doesn't have the time to give them that space. And just having someone that they feel like they can turn to when they're having a moment as well is really important.
mm. Totally. That's really interesting. And I do love that uh it's the business stuff, right? It's, a lot of times business owners get a little bit down because the reason they started business in the first place, they don't get to do the stuff that they love anymore. And it's like, actually, you can. If you get the right support with the underlying structures, you can do the stuff that you love. And in fact, once all of that pressure is off your plate, you'll have so much more freedom and flexibility and headspace to think about that stuff and expand it.
Yeah. And sometimes the owner doesn't want to focus on the growth. Like they don't
Mm,
have the knowledge to do that.
yeah.
They want to do the client work.
Yeah.
You know,
That came up for me the other day. Someone said that, they were like, they were feeling a bit defeated because they're like, everyone keeps saying that I've got to hire people to do that work and I've got to go out and do the BD. And she was like, I don't want to do that. I love my clients. Like, I love that stuff. I was like, well, do more of that.
and hire for BD.
Yeah. Hire for BD or hire for admin.
Yeah, that's right. Hire for
Mm,
the things that you don't love. Things
yes.
that you dread every morning, they're the things you hire for.
It's like the moral of this podcast is you are the boss.
Yes,
You get to make these choices.
that's right. Absolutely. And if you don't want to be the boss, we can do that for you.
I love that.
The amount of times that we've had clients just turn around and go, I just need someone to tell me what to do.
Oh,
So
I
they just
you
want
do
someone
feel
to tell
like that
them.
some days.
Yep. You just want someone to tell you. Like, where do I need to focus on next? I've got all these brilliant ideas, and what do I do next to get me there? Because you
Mm.
get stuck in that overwhelm and procrastination because you can't make that decision because you're just unsure which one's the right one.
Yeah, and having somebody that can ask you the hard questions as well, who is a little bit more objective because you're not the business. So you can ask more objective, questions to get the right answer and what is the actual problem here or what is the right next product or solution to move down.
Yep. Or why do you want to change that?
Are we just having a bad day or is this a
Yes.
brilliant idea?
Yes. And if you want to go down the whole, like, women especially,
Mm.
right? Where are you in your cycle?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Right? Because I have moments in my cycle, usually the last week, where if I don't have analytics to do, I will overanalyze everything else in my life and my business, which is usually never a good thing when I do it on me. If I do the analytics for clients and things in their financials and reporting and pricing, whatever like that, it's great. It comes out top notch. But if I do that in my own business, then I just kind of spiral. So
Mm.
it's really conscious to work out where you are. And if you're not tracking it, you should be. And that's like biggest tip ever for a woman in business, especially.
This is genius. Someone said that to me once. They were like, oh, yeah, on this week, I never book meetings, or on
Yeah,
this week, I never do content creation because I just want to die. So, why would I want to sit in front of the camera and pretend to be excitable about things? I was like, oh, that's so genius. I think uh, the world talks about like when do you have your most energy, but they talk about it on a day-to-day basis. Like some people are like morning people, some people are nighttime people, and they like talk about doing deep work when you have most energy. But
yeah,
there is that whole other layer for women, where are we in the month that we should be focusing on different tasks, because
absolutely.
and I think it's really important to plan like that as well. I think sometimes we sit down and we go, I got to do everything today.
Yep.
Everything always happens on the same day. It's like, no, today's a content day, tomorrow's a meeting day, the next day's a this day. Like, you don't have to do everything all the time on one day. Like, if you think about a month and everything you have to achieve and then schedule it accordingly, like, you can just be so much more productive.
Yes, absolutely. And when everyone gets up, they're all pumped and fired and they've got all the energy to do all of those things in one day, right? And then they
Yeah.
stare at their list and go, now where do I start?
Yes.
And the
Oh my
whole
God.
day
That's my problem.
trying to work out where to start. So then they get
Mm,
nothing done.
yeah. I know. I've moved to this year a notepad
Mm,
thingy that has the hours in the day.
yep,
And so I can go, this is what I'm working today. So I can literally only accomplish one task in each line, and that's it. So if it's not fitting in there, we're not putting it on our to-do list because it's clearly not happening today, you know?
yep.
It's because I was that person that I would just write down everything. And now I'm like, I have 2 pages of a to-do list. Where do I start? And I always felt like a failure because obviously you don't accomplish all those things. So yeah, and it's just been a real game changer, to be honest. It's just really like given me perspective on what I can actually accomplish in a day, which is amazing.
Plus, it gives you consistency, right?
Yes.
So you're
Yeah.
constantly working towards something.
Mm.
Broken it down, you're constantly working towards it.
Totally. And because there are some non-negotiables, there are some things that I want to do every day, whether it's like, doing my workout or, my answering some cold emails or like there's a couple of tasks that I do every day. So they're the first things that go on the list and then we fill the rest of the time. So yeah, it's been really empowering actually.
Yep. And I'm a notebook girl too.
Same, I know. I don't know why. Oh, I love it though.
I can use
Uh,
all the different softwares in the world to put my to-do list together. But you think I'd use
mm,
them? No.
no.
But do it for clients, no problem.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I preach to everybody else that it should be in there and you should have, deadlines and labels and all of the things. And I'm like, yeah, I just use a notepad. Oh, I love it. We could talk all day, but I love to wrap up these podcasts with one last piece of advice. So, reflecting on your time in business, what would be a piece of advice that you would give to another woman on her business journey?
Don't fall into the trap of feeling like you have to do it all on your own.
Mm, that is gold.
Yep. You will go much further with others.
I love that. You are absolutely incredible, Kerry. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your story and your wisdom with the Spark community. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I've loved it, and this is so much fun. I can't wait to do another one sometime.